Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's third video. So what a day of content we have for you at GavsWeatherVids today. It's one of the most epic days we have ever done. We started with JMA Friday, had a 10 to 14 day video update. We've now got the ECMWF 42 day update taking us into early January, looking at the weather for the next 6 weeks. We're going to have a Christmas update for you coming up later on this evening. That'll be around 7 to 8 o'clock this evening. We'll have our Christmas update, so that's going to be absolutely fantastic. That's the 11th Christmas update, I think. And we're going to be live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight. So content been coming at you all day long. I hope you're enjoying this epic Friday GavsWeatherVids. If you are enjoying the content, please smash the like button and let us know in the comments what you think. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. It's absolutely fantastic if everybody can do that. Right, so let's get on with the ECMWF 42 day event. We're at the ECMWF.int website. Thank you so much to them for allowing us to use their data. So we're going to look at weather the next 6 weeks. We're going to look at mean sea level pressure anomalies. We're going to look at 500 millibar height, temperature, and precipitation anomalies as well. This is the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly, taking us from Monday, 30th of November, through to Monday, the 7th of December. So blue is extrapolating to low pressure, pink to high pressure. So the ECMWF looks very interesting for week 1. ECM extended has an area of blocking high pressure in the North Atlantic and Mid-Atlantic ridge, and also combined with a Scandinavian high. Low pressure is down here around southern, southwestern Europe. It means that wind is either going to be coming in from like a northerly direction or possibly from an easterly direction. Either way, it looks like a pretty cold signal for much of northern and western Europe. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like this. So again, it's indicative of northern block. You've got a mid-Atlantic ridge extending up towards Greenland. There's an area of high pressure towards Scandinavia. Low pressure has become cut off down to the south. Winds are probably going to be coming in from an easterly type direction. For week 1, temperature anomalies then for the 30th of November to the 7th of December. Week 1 look like that. So above average temperatures across Scandinavia, but most parts of Western Europe are forecast to have below average temperatures. And on the temperature scale, so we're going down to around a couple of degrees below average, I think, across many central parts of Europe. So yeah, quite a cold sort of first week of December here across much of France, Germany, into Ireland and the UK. But not as cold as that, but nevertheless, Ireland and much of England and Wales anyway, hinting at being rather on the cooler than average side. Although for Scotland it is milder than average. It's drier than average as well, as it often is when it's cold. It's also drier, so Western Europe forecasts you have a dry and average first week of December, but probably on the cold side. Right, that's week 1 done. Let's have a look at week 2 then. This is going to take us from the 7th through to the 14th of December. Remember with this, the further out we go, the more unreliable it's going to get. So week 2, 7th to 14th December looks like that. Low pressure generally covering much of northern and western Europe. High pressure with a mid-Atlantic ridge in the North Atlantic going up to some parts of Greenland. We're probably going to be bringing in like a north to northeasterly type wind there, I would have thought. So, yes, I mean, it looks like we're on the cold side of that mid-Atlantic ridge. We've got low pressure covering much of northern and western Europe. I think that could be cold and unsettled. You know, I think that could be cold. Dare I say even wintry? There might be wintry potential with that in week 2. This is how the 500 millibar height anomaly looks from the North Pole view down. Again, it looks like it could be wintry, this, doesn't it? Low pressure across the western part of Europe, a mid-Atlantic ridge that's extending up towards Greenland. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be pulling in winds from like a northeasterly direction. Eastern Europe looks a lot milder though. By the way, we've got this area of above average heights across the east of Europe. That's going to bring up like mild southerly winds probably on the east side of Europe, but with this area of above average heights in the middle of the North Atlantic going up to Greenland, we should be pulling down colder or pulling in colder northerly or northeasterly winds into the west of Europe. Week 2 temperature anomaly is showing this east-west split very, very nicely. So eastern parts of Europe generally mild and average. Western Europe looking colder than average, especially so again through Ireland, the UK, into northern France, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, and into Germany as well. So the cold temperatures are in the west of Europe. The warm temperatures are in the east of Europe. It should be a more unsettled week as well, I would have thought. So yes, I mean it's not particularly wet, but we do see that it's not as dry in week 2 as it is in week 1. Precipitation is going close to average. So yeah, I mean that could be there's wintry potential I think there. Colder than average and a little bit more unsettled as well in week 2. Right, that's that one done. Let's go through to week 3 then. This is going to take us from the 14th to the 21st of December. How's it looking? This is how it's looking. So again, this looks like it could be quite cold. The further out we're going, the more unreliable it's getting, of course, the weaker the signal is getting. Nevertheless, we've still got a mid-Atlantic ridge. A focus of higher pressure is possibly towards Greenland. Low pressure looks like it's still covering much of sort of southwestern Europe as well. So between below there and the high there, I don't see why we wouldn't be pulling in the wind from like an east or northeasterly direction. Let's have a look at the week 3 500 millibar height anomaly. So it's very late when I'm recording this, 25 past midnight in the early hours of Friday morning. It's that sort of time of the year when Gavy's up late recording. So it's still basically the same idea. Mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland. Low pressure is across the west of Europe. High pressure is in the east of Europe. So mild southerly winds up the eastern side of Europe. Cold and northerly winds coming down the western side of Europe. The week 3 temperature anomaly looks like that from the 14th, 21st December. As we're going out, the scene is weakening. Nevertheless, it still looks so. Western Europe is cooler, Eastern Europe is warmer. So either the UK probably still on the cold side, really, I would have thought. And then week 3, precipitation anomaly, very weak signals, but does look dry in the North Atlantic. That's where we've got all of the high pressure, of course. So yeah, I mean, there could be some precipitation around at times, but generally the Atlantic is blocked off, so it's not overly wet. What precipitation there is could be a little bit wintry as winds are coming in still from the north or northeast direction. Right, let's see what the ECMWF extended model is forecasting for Christmas then. Remember, our 11th Christmas update will be coming up for you later on. That's going to be coming up for you later on today. Right, so let's have a look at week 4, 21st of December to the 28th of December. The Christmas update will be around 7 to 8 o'clock tonight, I should say. Right, here we go. In 21st, 28th of December, this is how it's looking. So very, very weak signals for mean level pressure now as we get through to Christmas. So we can see we've still got a bit of low pressure down across Spain and Portugal. Looks like we've got some higher pressure up here around the Baltic Sea to eastern parts of Europe. Some lower pressure coming back towards Greenland. Perhaps otherwise very, very weak signals. Probably too weak a signal to be able to say what is happening there in week 4. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. This is possibly hinting at a Scandinavian high. So, of course, you've got all of this ridging across Eurasia, but to me, and it looks a little bit strange, it looks a little bit bizarre, but to me, it does look as though this could be hinting at a bit of an extension from the high pressure, like the Siberian high, I suppose, extending that into Scandinavia, possibly still some above average heights left for Greenland as well. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments, everybody. Do you think that could be sort of hinting a little bit of a Scandinavian high, and possibly starting to get wind into the east. Let me know in the comments what you think. Temperature anomalies for Christmas look like that. So very weak signals, but certainly not forecasting a particularly mild Christmas away from the far north and east of Europe anyway. So no particular signal for temperature anomalies, but again, no particular signal to be cold or mild. And the precipitation anomaly for week 4 from the 21st, 28th of December looks like that. So just hinting at quite a lot of dry weather. This could be like an anticyclonic period, giving frost and fog. But of course, if a high pressure gets Scandinavian, gets wind properly into the east, then we could have been business for a wintry Christmas. Right, week 5. So a little bit inconclusive, I think, really, with the ECMWF extended on today for Christmas. A little bit inconclusive. Right, week 5, mean sea level pressure anomaly is looking like this. It looks like the Atlantic is starting to come back into action. So we've got some low pressure appearing in the North Atlantic. We've still got hints of some higher pressure to our north and east. It does look over low pressure, and maybe the jet stream starting to move in from the Atlantic as we go from the 28th of December to the 4th of January, week 5. 500 millibar height anomaly for this New Year period. It's looking like this. So it might be a bit of a battle, actually. We've still got lots of high pressure to our north and also to our east. We've got low pressure coming in from the Atlantic. That's the Azores high, by the way. That's displaced a long way from us over towards Bermuda. That's one of the things that happens in a colder winter. The Azores high tends to get displaced south and west of its normal position. Remember, the Azores high normal position, these are quite good for being able to see this. So the normal position of the Azores high, let's just see if we can lift this up a little bit more. Normal position of the Azores high would tend to be around there. Somewhere around there. Of course, that's what drives in westerly winds. The position of the Azores high on this forecast is somewhere around here, so towards Bermuda. That's what's allowing this low pressure to be around the Azores with the high pressure up here. This is indicative of a negative NAO, by the way. And yeah, so we back to business anyway. So that's just quite interesting. That is one of the things we look for a colder winter, for the Azores high to be displaced down there rather than just there. Right, so back to business. So this could be a bit of a battleground week around the new year of 2020 to 2021, with higher pressure to the north and the east gradually being forced back by low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. That might be returning us to milder weather, but it could be messy, and you wouldn't totally rule out the chance of something wintering going on in terms of snow during the transition. Temperature anomaly, again, no particular signal for Western Europe, but the milder temperatures are definitely in the far north and eastern part of Europe. So yes, no particular signal for it to be overly mild, like for December, even into January. The precipitation anomaly hints at going wetter, doesn't it? So it definitely looks like the Atlantic is having a go at getting back into business, but you'll notice that the wetter conditions actually down towards Spain and Portugal, so it might be indicative of a bit of a southerly tracking jet stream. That could be, it could just see the Atlantic push through and turn it milder, wetter, windier. Conversely, that could turn into a very snowy new year. And then finally, we go through to week 6, which is going to be the 4th through to the 11th of January. This is how it looks. So by this point, it looks like we're reverting to a slightly more typical pattern. Low pressure gets going around Iceland, or is getting going around Iceland. High pressure across the east of Europe. That's just the edges of the Azores high, perhaps starting to get a little bit closer towards the Azores, and generally probably just hinting at a reversion back to the westerlies, a return of westerlies. So let's have a look at week 6, 500 millibar height. And if you enjoyed this video, then please like and let us know in the comments what you think about this forecast and the ECMWF extended range model this week. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, of course. Okay, so 500 millibar height normally looks like this for week 6. Low pressure is coming back from off the Atlantic with a return of the westerlies. This should be a milder week as well. Let's have a look at that. It should be going milder. Yes, it is. Most of northern and western Europe forecasted to turn milder than average there from the 4th through to the 11th of January. And the rainfall anomaly for week 6 should be going above average. Doesn't really show it, but I think this will be a more unsettled week with areas of low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic Ocean. Right, so what an interesting update that was. Let's just put my specs back on. There we go. Okay, so what an interesting update that was, wasn't it? So, looks like we could be in for quite a cold and wintry December here, really, across much of Western Europe, a lot more across the east of Europe, but certainly Western Europe could be in for quite a cold and wintry spell for December, possibly lasting up to Christmas, maybe even New Year. Eventually, it looks like we're going to something milder, wetter and windier as we go through the early part of January with a return of the westerlies. But of course, that's like 5-6 weeks away. It's a very, very long way out, and certainly the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, we probably have to be concerned about the chance of cold weather and risk of some snow at times as well. So we haven't had a cold December since 2010. This is not indicating, I don't think, a December to remember. It's not indicating anything quite as severe as that. But then it doesn't have to get as severe as that to still be a cold, relatively cold, wintry month. And that seems to be what the model is hinting at today. A rather cold and at times perhaps wintry, maybe even sometimes rather snowy December could be about to be revealed. We shall see. Right, don't forget to check out GMA Friday and 10 to 14 day beer update. We're going to be back around sort of 7, 8 o'clock, sometime around there, with the 11th Christmas update. I think we may combine the CFS V2 for the very first time with the GFS Extended. So that could be quite interesting. And then we're going to be live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight. Epic day of content at GavsWeatherVids continues then in a couple of hours' time with our latest Christmas update. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.